Hi, Ray Hayden here, and this video is a little update on the property here. If you look back behind me, you can see off in the distance. Yeah, as far as you can see, the trees way back there are part of our property, and then behind those trees way back there as well. We've removed all the interior fencing of the property except for parts of it to keep wild hogs out. But this is basically what the grass looks like now after the first cut of the season. So that's our front lawn. And then back out in the corner there is the corner of the property. I'm going to make 2 more short video clips as part of this one. It'll be one all video. But this is the property after I just got done cutting the grass a day or 2 ago. I think 2 days ago. All right. And that's our property line back there. I was standing in front of that tree in the last video because if I got behind the tree steals the focus and you wouldn't be able to see the property. Again, so that's the corner where I was just at. And then what I'm showing here is the lawn. And after we removed all those interior fences and everything, pretty much the shot that we get as we look across the property. All right. Now this is a rectangle of a property. It's as wide as it is, and then it's that it goes far back. Back in the distance there is a barn. I think it's around there somewhere. And then behind the barn there's another field. And behind these trees over here, that's part of that other field. I'll put that in as part of this clip as well. But I just wanted to show you, this is the first cut of the season for my grass. All right, and it's February. All right, so in this clip here, I was about halfway back on the last clip. This one here is in the I guess the front left-hand corner of the property, and just showing you back, you'll see the house again for perspective. And that's a nice tree out there too. Got a couple of really nice trees on the property, and then our fence line off here in the distance. All right, and it goes. You can see the barn in this shot. I can't tell really that well from the thing. Hey, my hair's looking great today. Anyway, so but the barn's in the distance, but there's also a house, and you should be able to see that house. Before we removed the fencing and cleaned up the inside of the property, you couldn't see that, and that's our neighbor's house. So that's seeing across the property to our neighbor's property. All right, there is a set of power line. Well, the power lines come into the property and they come right across our property. And here's the pole behind me. All right, and then this is like maybe a third of the way across the property. And I guess what I really want to show off back here or could demonstrate is, again, the removal of the fences allows us to see back over here. And I think that's the barn I see in the distance. All right. Looks like it's, I can't tell from the monitor. I squint, I still can't see. But anyways, but we can see through because the fences were all covered with weeds and everything on the road to nowhere and everything was all covered with weeds. It was 2 fences and then a field behind that in what I call shady field. I'll show you a closer shot of that in a video clip. Shady field was like 4-foot high grass. It was just crazy. And but I've been going in there and working that part of the land, that field I call shady field, and I'll show you that in a closer clip. But I've been really working that down to be about a 2.5-inch, 3-inch thick, tall set of grass. And it's going to take a while, but it'll grow in. And let's go take a look at that next. Spanish moss. Anyway, so the house is behind me. I just came from down there by a telephone pole. And what I'm going to do is, there's some goats over here. I'm out by the dirt road by the side of our property. And this field that's in here behind me, this is what I used to call shady field. There's the barn out there, but this is shady field. Obviously, there's a bunch of shade in here, a bunch of shade trees. 2 of these trees are they're going to die. They're going to end up falling over. They got hit with Hurricane Irma, and there's going to be a problem with that down the road. But once they fall, they're going to be easy to get rid of with the tractor and the tools that I have to get rid of those. Again, we can see through the property now. This was all 4-foot high overgrowth or undergrowth or whatever, and I got rid of all that and chopped it all down. And I'm going to keep working on this until the whole field here is going to be all full of grass. It's going to be nice. And that field, the field in the background underneath the tree over there, that's horse field. Sorry about the wind. I don't have my microphone on or anything. I'm just trying to shoot actually still pictures for a buddy of mine. All right. So then what I'm going to do is take a look over here at this other field that's muddy field, and then I'll show you the formerly overgrown field as well. All right. Hang on. You know what, before I go over to show you the muddy field, which is over there behind me, that's the muddy field back there. I'm going to show you that. But this right here is the end of, if you saw my video on the road to nowhere, this was the road to nowhere right here. And let's look back here behind me. If you look under this thing, you should see that, you know, the double track there. Looks like a roadway. Those were two fences, the interior fences that made up, that was, you know, there's the shady field over here, and what I called the front fields over here, and there were these two fences between the two fields. I called it the road to nowhere, and it was difficult to get a mower in here just to cut the stuff, right? So it was another part of the reason why I wanted to pull those fences down, and here's part of that fence. You know, I just left this little corner piece on there. There's no reason to take it down, and I can get around that and very easily. But the road to nowhere was right here. It was way overgrown. There was a tree growing in there. It was a nightmare to take care of, but we took that down, and by clearing out these fences around the house and everything else, it really opened up the property, and it probably actually looks better. It does, man. The thing looks really good on video, but it looks good in person looking at it too. But anyway, so let's go over here. We're going to cut through this field over here, and we're going to go look at the muddy field and the barn. All right, hang on. Again, the house behind me for perspective of where we're at on the property. This is looking back across the shady field, all right? And back behind me over here used to be, make sure I get it in the shot, the apartment used to be over there. We call this apartment field over here because the apartment used to be there. And there's a road right there. It's a dirt road. Our neighbors are going past this thing every day. We didn't think that they should have to look at that, so we had somebody remove that building. That's the only work I haven't done myself on the property so far. With a couple other little outbuildings that we had removed as well. The barn is over here between the trees for another thing for perspective, because we're going to go over into the muddy field on the other side of those trees. Now, this thing right here is a device. I think it's right here. It looks like a table or something like that. That was a device that the former owner set up to use as an automatic gate opener for this gate. That's right behind it there, right there. So that was kind of a cool thing. We have no use for it, so I have to disassemble that thing and get rid of it. All in due time. Again, the grass in all the fields cut. And again, that's horse field back there. That's the biggest field other than the front fields. The other individual field, that's the other biggest one. Now there was a fence right here. The fence came right through here and over to there. All right, so again, one of the other fences I removed, and in removing all these fences, it opened it up. And we're very happy with the results so far. I have a lot of work to do right here in this area to, you know, basically I'm going to mulch all this material up, and hopefully I'll get some nice grass growing in here, because there's grass growing right here that's really in nice shape. And hopefully by mulching this stuff up, we'll get nutrients into the sand, and we get more sunlight into the area, because I've been what they call raising the trees up. You can see I made a cut on a limb there, but I'll keep trimming the trees. There's a lot of trimming to do, but again, in due time. I got other things to do now. And then the barn, of course, right there for perspective. Now there was another fence right before these trees over here. Kind of walk over that way. Get in the shade a little bit here. All right, so right behind me over here where the shade is, there was another fence, because this was apartment field. The apartment was right here. This is where the apartment was. And then this area over here was well overgrown, and that's where there were some thickets back in there. So we're going to look at the muddy field first, and then we're going to look back here behind me. This is what I call the formerly overgrown field. Those were the 12 to 14 foot high thickets. They were incredibly high, and I got them cleaned up, and I still got a lot of work to do there. But I wanted to show you this. I've been trying to make this video for a long time, but the weather has not been conducive to making video. All right. And again, looking back across Horsefield, back over towards the house. Okay, for perspective, that's the house in the background. Here's the barn. So I've moved further towards the northern part of the property. This land right here, underneath these trees right here, I made a video about going in here and tearing this stuff up. This is like 3 or 4 foot high under here a while ago. I love the wildlife in these trees. Anyway, so, but all this, there's a gate back over there, and I accidentally opened that gate and left it open. The hogs came out, and they came around this area, and I'm standing in some rooting holes right now where the hogs had come in and just rooted this area all up. I'm going to have to use what they call a box blade, come in here and just really dig this area out and smooth it out. And this field, the grass, when it's cut, looks great. This is a muddy field right here. When the grass is growing in the big growing part of the year in the summer months, the rainy season in Florida here, This field actually looks beautiful when it is well maintained. Apparently I found mourning doves. And see, if you hear any chirping, it's the mourning doves. All right, so looking back behind me, the house and the barn are in the shot. I'm in the northeast corner of the property right now. And this is what I call the muddy field. I got 2 vehicles and I got a van and 2 lawnmowers stuck in this field here. And on the other side of that gate over there, I got my new Toro stuck in the mud over there. This field looks really, really great when it's all cut and mowed down. Everything looks great. But it's really, really rough. This is like the really bounciest field there is on the property, with the exception of the formerly overgrown field, which I'm smoothing out quite nicely. So let's go take a look at that. Okay, so this is a formerly overgrown field behind me. I made a couple update videos about it and everything else, but right now it's really a dirt field. And right now it's rough. Okay, the ground here is rough because I took my rotary mower from the tractor. Before I sent it in for service, I ran over this field to really grind things up. I'll go over to that pile here in a minute, but this is the area with 12 to 14 foot high thickets. You couldn't see through here. I got some growth along the fence line. I will be removing that. You're just going to see a fence here, except for a couple of trees by power lines. I'm not going to play with electricity, and we'll get that cleaned up. When I do, the goal is to try to be able to get rid of this fence here and the other fences, but I got to fix a fence in the back of the property where the wild hogs come on so that they don't come in here and root this place up and dig it up. I don't see much rooting around going on right now. Hopefully, if I got it done right, I'll have it to where the hogs don't want to come on the property anymore because there's nowhere for them to hide, all right? I want to show you some stuff over here in the overgrowth thing that I've been working on just a little bit. I don't have really the time to invest in it right now, but I've been trying to make the video and this update on this stuff back here and show you what I want to be doing on that. So hang on a second. Okay, back again. This video is from hey, look at that, oranges. I just noticed that, oranges. They grow over on our side, they're ours. Just kidding. Anyways, well, they would be. But anyway, so here's the deal. I've been cleaning up this area back here, just really got back into the back corner of our property. This is the back corner of our property right here. All right, so the fence goes off along that way into the woods, and that's some really dense stuff back there. That's the wooded area that you see from the other side. This is this field in general, from this point here, from the corner, all the way back over to the other corner towards Horsefield is 420 feet, all right? All of this growth, all of this plant stuff that you see right here, all of this will be gone. A lot of it has to do with these tree limbs growing over the fence. They grow over, they touch the ground, they'll start growing up again. So all of this will be gone and we'll be able to see back towards the distance, all right? I just wanted to point that out. And this is really, really rough stuff right here, okay? Because it was muddy when I brought the tractor back in here and I dug around, look at the holes. So I don't know how to say, this is a pretty deep hole right there. So, yeah, it's pretty much of a nightmare. And these vines are incredible. You just don't give up. But again, see, so all this stuff growing right down here is really coming, a lot of it's from this tree over there. And then there's another tree, which is probably, in all honesty, part of this other tree. But I'll be cutting it down, trimming them down. And this tree over here will be going as well. And there's another fence. I don't know if you can make it out there in the video, but there's a fence right there that kind of goes off in the corner. I'll be talking about that in a couple of minutes. All right, kind of shooting this out of order a little bit. Not out of order. I'm going to put it in order. I was going to talk about that pile of stuff. I'll talk about that just before I leave this field. But behind me over here is the wooded area. Actually, I think I get great audio right here. Let me know. Anyway, so, but this is the wooded area. Now, there's trees in here and everything else. The trees are going to stay. But there's a lot of this undergrowth kind of stuff that's like really just a nightmare. And then there's some of these thickets here all over the fence. That's why I want to remove the fence, because it gets rid of the thickets. This fence is going because it doesn't do anything to prevent the hogs from coming into the property anyway. There's that one gate I found a long time ago. And then I'm going to show you another part of this before, right now I'm going to stop this. I'm going to go over to another part, show you where I'm going to take the tractor into that piece of property right there and clean up all the overgrowth. So let's go over there and check that out. All right, the wild hogs are adorable because right here, this is some rooting. This is current, fresh rooting around from the hogs. They're digging around, but they're not doing that much. They're probably going to town in the overgrown area right here. And you can see the one fence pole. There's a fence pole there and another fence pole here. Now, I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to get rid of this little palm frond thing here. Then I'm going to remove these wires from this fence. Watch out for the hole from the hog hole. And then if you look in here, a lot of this stuff is kind of low, right? It's not that high. And, you know, if I get the tractor in there and get that stuff trimmed down little by little, taking my time, next winter, not this winter, this stuff's going to stay this way for about a year, or, you know, 9-10 months or whatever. Then I'll come in here, I'll remove this part of the fence, I'll come in, and little by little, I'll start clearing out the area. Just a little by little, taking my time, not hurting anything, like especially me. And then I can clean it off. Now, the house is over in that direction, okay? Right there. It's like straight in along that line to the house. The back of the property is off in the distance over there. It's not too far away, maybe a couple hundred feet. And then, you know, so it goes back in here a few hundred feet because it's on an angle to the back corner of the horse field. And then, but I'll get the tractor in here and I'll go around. And I think I can get in here with a chainsaw, the lawnmower, the rotary mower on the back of the tractor, and a couple other devices, and the box blade to smooth out the ground and stuff. I think I can make this very nice. Now, I want to spin around behind me here. All right, now you can see this area right here. All of this is probably going to go. Okay, 100% of this is probably going to go. The reason is because I'll show you another set of trees over here that are probably going to grow up into a nice, big, beautiful tree like over by the house. But this tree is kind of, you know, it's got a palm tree growing up in the middle of it. We got other palm trees on the property. We have no shortage of palm trees. But the problem is these trees can't grow together as one trunk because of that palm tree's in the way. And that's one of the things I try to avoid. Look how deep this hole is. That's from the tractor. All right, now, other than this tree trunk here, okay, other than this tree trunk right here, which is a couple of these trees like those ones over here behind me, right? This is a couple of those trees, and they already are growing together, all right? So that's going to make a very big, you know, long after I'm gone, hopefully from natural causes, this is going to be a very nice, beautiful tree here, right? So I want to make sure I can preserve that. There's another tree that's trying to do that over here. None of these tree trunks are, I got to watch where I walk here, deep holes. Not too much fresh rooting over here. That's nice. And let's check out these trees right here, and you'll see what I mean. I'm going to clear out the palm frond stuff, but you see in here, right? You see in there through those trunks of the trees, they're not growing together yet, but the root system below is probably getting them close together. These 4 trees here, I'm going to clean them up and give them the opportunity to grow into one singular trunk, a nice big trunk, so that can be a nice big beautiful tree down the road. Again, long after I'm gone, right? Everything else, there is another tree growing up in there too. That tree, if I can get this, there's some fresh rooting around. All right, so right behind me here, there's a tree right there. Okay, so anyways, right behind me there. That tree is growing up into the tree here, so that's going to be a problem for that tree. So that tree is going to go, right? And all of this right here, you're going to be able to see through, like you can back there. All right, you're going to be able to see through all this area. All of this, 100% except for the main tree trunk, is going to be cleaned up, and you'll be able to see right through here. This palm tree thing that's growing right here, that's going to be gone, and you'll be able to see right through here as well. And now what's on the other side of this? The barn. Where is the barn? There it is. There's the barn. Right there, check it out. So the barn is going to be visible from the back corner of the property as well. And then this is the overgrown area behind me. Or not overgrown area. The overgrown area was out there with thickets. This is all undergrowth. None of this stuff is particularly nasty for the tractor to take care of, so I'll be working on that. And then one more area of video before we go look at the other stuff. I think I saw the hawk just now. Anyway, so, but this is the area behind the barn. This area here has been getting beat up by the hogs really bad, but I'm going to go in here, there's a tree. I've actually ripped a tree out of the ground with the tractor over here. But I'm going to keep cleaning this up and getting this, and then I have to get this entire field flat. So you will be able to see, let me get this angle over here on this. All right, there we go. I've been widening out this path, but a lot of this area is just going to be 2 trees over here when I'm done. This is going to be, these 4 trees are growing into one, and that other tree over there, and everything else is going to be clear. You'll be able to see all through here back to the back part of the property. And I'm seeing a building there in the woods right there. That's actually on my neighbor's property. All right. And what else? And once I get all this cleaned up and keep the hogs out, then I'll remove the rest of these interior fences around here. So the rest of the interior fences will be coming down to really widen this place out, including the fence, which is around Horsefield. Be pulling that one out too. All right. So let's go look at the stuff they pulled together into the field here, and I'll show you that, and then we'll wrap this one up. All right. So this great big pile of stuff right here. These are all the roots and above ground stuff and stems and things of that nature from the thickets. Now you see these little things growing on the ground right here. Most of that is thickets trying to grow back. All right. So people are telling me I got to do all kinds of pest control kind of stuff for these kind of weeds or whatever, or, you know, herbicides and stuff like that. And I don't want to do that. I don't think it's necessary. And this is going to be my experiment for myself with this field. You'll see some green stuff back there in the background over there. I'm thinking that's an owl. I saw a big bird fly into the woods back over there. I think it was an owl. Now that I heard the hoo-hoo. Anyways, but the green stuff you see growing in the background over here, not all of it is thickets, but a lot of it is. All right. So the idea with the thickets is don't let them get a root hold. I'm going to take the scarifier and really rough this field up again. I'm going to dig into it nice and deep. That's an owl. And you see this part of the land behind me right here. That was scarifying and dragging things up. And I dragged them up in this pile right here. Now this pile here has a lot of dirt in it. I need the dirt. I need the soil to kind of help me level this stuff out. And there's a lot of sand, soil and sand in there. When I rinse down this soil, it just basically breaks down into sand anyway. That's what's left over. But I want the minerals from this stuff to be able to get chopped up and back into the field. And then I have to maintain it very tight, very close, so that the thickets don't grow back. Because here's a little pile of thickets right there trying to make headway. But then there's other soft grasses in here as well. So if I do this right, if I get this done right, and I've had a lot of luck over the years with grass growing in parts of the lawn and stuff and much smaller properties, but I've had really good success actually getting grass to grow up under shady parts of trees. So I'm going to try to do that, and I'm going to use Mother Nature's rain to help me out with that. But anyway, so this is, I got to come in here and mess this up with the tractor, kind of spread it out and everything else, shake it up and everything else, and then chop it up with the mulching mower thing. So that's going to be kind of a fun project for me to do, but no rush on that. Just as long as the weeds don't start growing in this pile. I got to prevent the weeds from gaining root within that pile. All right. That's going to wrap it up with this video. I hope you enjoyed the little tour here. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Give me a big thumbs up on this video. Like the video. Greatly appreciate that. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And until I catch you in the next video, take care and be well.